Hey guys, Dr. Elliott here, aka 1HP Medic, and today we are going to be talking about how you can improve your mechanical skill and game sense by hacking your brain. Alright guys, before we get started here, the first thing that I want to do is get you familiar with the term executive function.
Executive function is responsible for many mental skills, including paying attention, organizing, planning, and prioritizing, as well as starting tasks and staying focused on them to completion, regulating emotions, and self-monitoring, which means keeping track of what you're doing.
Now, if all of those things sound super important no matter what level of competition you're playing at, you'd be absolutely correct. Now, the next question we have to ask ourselves is, what can we do to improve any of these skills? You going to learn today!
So whether you're at the top of your game or trying to make esports a career, if you aren't doing literally everything known to man to improve your performance, how much do you really want success? So unlike many hacks you see on nutrition blogs, fitness pages, and medical advertisements, this method requires you to spend $0 and has mountains of evidence that it's incredibly effective. So what exactly am I talking about here? Well, I'm talking about a substance called BDNF. Now, I can already hear you saying that you didn't come here for a science lesson, you just want to know how you can improve your mechanical skill in-game. Well, if you stick around a little bit, you might find out how those two things are very much connected to BDNF. So what exactly is BDNF? Well, brain-derived neurotrophic factor, or BDNF for short, is one of a family of neurotrophic factors that participates in neuronal transmission, modulation, and plasticity. Which is a bunch of really complicated science stuff to say it's a powerful chemical in your brain that helps with a bunch of mental functions related to information processing, learning, and decision making. If you think of your brain as a plant that grows based on stimulus you give it, BDNF is the fertilizer for the soil so it can grow in all the right ways. When our brains don't have a healthy relationship with BDNF, we get dysfunctions such as ADHD and other issues like depression, obesity, and insomnia. But that's not the reason that you should be interested as a gamer. It turns out that this chemical can literally hack your normal brain to make your mental functions faster, better, and even more efficient by up to 20%. It's literally the closest thing to downloading Aim Assist for your brain. Even if you are already a world-class esport athlete, improving your BDNF levels can help you break a plateau and improve long-term, and even prime your system before training or get yourself back into the game when you're getting tilted in the short term. So what exactly does BDNF affect? Well, here's a list of mental function that BDNF levels have positive relationships with. Motor learning and motor memory, which is essentially a function of mechanical skill. For example, when you're changing your binds and you need to learn how to play again. Visual motor tracking, or hand-eye coordination, also a mechanical skill. Examples include things like aim, skill shots, combos, things like that. Cognitive, aka intellectual learning, which falls under game sense. For example, learning to make callouts, movement patterns, rotations, quick decision making, etc. Long and short-term memory, which also falls under game sense. For example, remembering mistakes from past matches, better decision making, and pattern recognition. And finally, mood regulation, also known as tilt management. For example, we're all familiar with the feeling of getting frustrated with yourself or your team and then ending up playing worse because of it.
So if I haven't already bored you enough with the science, the next thing that you're probably wondering is how do I unlock this in my brain? So there's 3 strats that we're going to go with, and the first being exercise. The first and most powerful way to improve BDNF levels in your brain is exercise. There are 2 ways that you can use exercise to improve your mechanical skills and game sense, in the short term and in the long term. For short-term benefits, according to neurologists, the most optimal way to increase BDNF levels in the brain is by exercising hard for about 3 minutes. BDNF changes are not related to length of time, but instead related to intensity. 3 minutes of intensity is when BDNF levels peak. When we say hard exercise, we mean hard. A good rule of thumb is that if you can still count reps out loud, you aren't working hard enough. The idea is to stress your entire nervous system to produce more of this substance, which can directly be used to improve your mechanical skill, recover from tilt, and improve your decision making. To harness these short-term benefits, it's good to pick an exercise you can easily do at your desk. Calisthenics like jumping jacks, push-ups, lunges, squats, burpees, etc. can be really easy ways to get moving whenever you feel like you aren't playing at your best. Remember, the harder and faster you can do these exercises, the better. If you're looking for some guidance or just want to challenge yourself, we recommend the 3-minute brain booster workout linked below. So what exactly is the best schedule here? Well, you should aim to do about 3 minutes of high intensity exercise every day at least. But because this substance helps to grease the gears of your brain, it can be an especially useful boost right before you warm up in game, train your aim or other mechanical skills, play in a tournament, between rounds or matches, when you are playing badly, or when you are getting tilted or frustrated. Because BDNF helps your brain operate more efficiently and reinforces motor pathways, you want to be careful to use this powerful tool right before you try to improve your skills. Up next, we're going to talk about the long-term effects of BDNF. As it turns out, the long-term effects are definitely more powerful in people that have been training when compared to people that haven't been exercising. So that means that if you have a regular exercise routine, you will get a bigger mental boost from doing the 3 minutes of intense exercise than you would otherwise. You will also have a sharper baseline foundation of mechanical skills, things like reaction time, than somebody who is untrained. If you want to know what the science says about all of this, the studies suggest that 20 minutes a day of high-intensity cardio can improve your mental functions. One particular study took young adults and had one group do brain training and exercise, and another group just do brain training. After 6 weeks, the first group that did exercise and brain training blew the other group out of the water. What does this mean for you as a competitive gamer? Well, no matter how good you think your mechanical skill and game sense are right now, if you're not exercising for at least 20 minutes a day, you are not playing up to your potential. So what is the best way for gamers to get their cardio in? Well, rowing, biking, running, swimming, the elliptical, Stairmaster machine, jumping jacks, whatever your preferred method of getting your heart rate up is, it's all super effective at improving not only your physical health, but your mental health and performance. Again, this is where you may be rolling your eyes and saying you hate cardio, but how much do you hate not being the best? Esports by nature is not a particularly physically demanding sport. However, that does not mean that you cannot harness the benefits of the incredible mind-body connection that exists to make yourself mentally better, faster, and more accurate, no matter how good you are at baseline. When you schedule your cardio really comes down to personal preference. But we recommend 20 minutes first thing in the morning to improve your alertness as you go about your day. If 20 minutes is too much to jump into right off the bat, we totally get it. So 10 minutes of a nice easy walk can be a really nice substitute for the 20 minutes of cardio, and then gradually build your way up. Also, if you're getting ready to grind competitive for the day, we definitely recommend you do your 20 minutes of cardio right before then to make sure you're as alert as possible. Alright, looks like up next we're talking about my favorite topic. Nutrition! So how does what you eat impact what you think? Well, it turns out that the best way to improve the BDNF levels in your brain is to eat absolutely nothing. That's right. Intermittent fasting has been shown to improve BDNF levels in the brain by 50 to 400%, which is actually insane. So, how does this work? Well, in the absence of food, humans are kind of designed to think better and faster in order to, get more food, or else they would have died off years ago. So, the same principle applies today. In the absence of food, your brain speeds up just a little bit to give you that competitive edge, ultimately in gaming. So, what exactly is intermittent fasting? Well, intermittent fasting is a pattern of eating where you go long stretches without consuming any food or consume significantly decreased calories on a daily basis. When looking at the research, a 16-hour fast can have significant improvements on reaction time and other mental measures. So what is the best schedule for fasting? So an intermittent fast means that you go 16 hours without eating and only eat 18 hours of the day. So if your last meal was at 8 p.m., you wouldn't eat until noon the next day. So you're essentially skipping breakfast and eating lunch. Another way to improve BDNF levels in your brain with varying amounts of evidence is supplementation. And before you go and take any supplements or start any kind of a schedule, make sure that you're talking to your doctor to make sure that it's right for you. But above is a list of supplements that may be helpful to improve BDNF levels in your brain. If you want any more information about any of these supplements, make sure you check out the article linked in the description for a full list of references. Alright, and the third way to improve BDNF levels in your brain, and maybe the most important, number 3. Socialization. So what does socialization have to do with improving your mechanical skill and game sense? Well, as it turns out, social interaction is critical for humans to maintain the BDNF levels in our brains. So, according to research, gamers categorized with internet gaming disorder
actually are able to maintain their levels of BDNF through online socialization when compared to non-gaming populations. The gamers in this study primarily played World of Warcraft, which is kind of a naturally social game. But that is not to say that it isn't important to get face-to-face socialization to improve your mental health and function. Face-to-face interactions give us more sensory cues, body language, smell, touch, things like that, which make the social interactions exponentially more powerful than just voice chat in-game, and thus triggering more of a BDNF response in humans. With that being said, we don't want good to be the enemy of great here. So if you find yourself in a situation as a gamer where you feel like you are spending a lot of time grinding solo queue to get better and not interacting with other players in a meaningful way, you may be doing yourself a competitive disservice. Make sure the game you are playing competitively offers you an opportunity to play it socially, or find a different game that does allow you to play socially at least some of the time. So what is the best schedule? Well, as far as we know, there aren't any studies that look at the exact amount of socialization necessary to optimize your BDNF levels, and thus improve your performance. We at 1HP recommend at least 2 hours a day of social interaction with other people, either in real life or in a fun, relaxed gaming context, if that isn't possible. So there's a couple of other little things you can do to improve your BDNF levels while you're gaming. So without further ado, we're going to get into the bonus strats. So one way you can boost BDNF levels in your brain is by getting high quality sleep every night. Studies show that increasing your high quality sleep increases BDNF levels in your brain, and increased BDNF levels in your brain increase the quality of your sleep at night. So it's a really nice cycle that can get kick-started with a fresh dose of exercise. Alright, the last strat we have for you guys today involves the sun. So a study of 2,851 residents of the Netherlands looked at BDNF levels in the brain when compared to the seasons. What they found was that during the summer and spring months, BDNF levels went up, and in the winter and fall months, BDNF levels went down, big time. So what does that mean for you as a gamer? Well, it turns out number of hours spent in the sun directly correlates with BDNF levels in the brain. Remember, don't overdo this, we're not trying to get skin cancer here. But spending about 30 minutes a day outside in the sun, exercising or socializing or doing whatever you want really, can really help to improve BDNF levels in your blood and your brain, and therefore improving your mechanical skill and game sense. Alright guys, we really hope you enjoyed learning today about how to improve your mechanical skill and game sense by hacking your brain with BDNF. So to quickly recap everything that we talked about today. The first strat we discussed was an intense 3-minute brain booster workout that can be done when you're feeling like you're not playing well or are getting tilted. Strat number 2 was intense cardio exercise done every day to improve your baseline levels of BDNF and improve the effectiveness of that 3-minute brain boosting workout. Strat number 3 is occasionally intermittent fasting for about 14 to 16 hours or reducing your calorie intake. Strat number 4 was socializing for about 2 hours a day, either in real life or in-game playing something casual with friends. Strat number 5 was getting a good night's sleep of at least 8 hours. Strat number 6 was getting sunshine, at least 30 minutes a day. If you guys like this video, please make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Also check out 1hp.org for all of your questions about gaming, health, and wellness. We'll see you guys in the next episode.